certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I look like shit. Welcome to the program. I'm Aaron. I don't look that bad. SP was here just a bit ago. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what did we find out today? If you haven't watched this morning's show, stop, go watch that, and then come back. We fucking broke people this morning. If you were there this morning, you can attest. We turned people insane. It was wild to watch. I was a parasite in the brains of at least a dozen people. I was like fucking meningitis this morning without trying. Everyone was throwing out, like, it was funny to watch everyone throw out their conspiracy theories and their ideas and then go, and then you say people are stalking you. And I'm like, well, I didn't say you were doing a good job. Look, if you attempt to rob a bank and you only get $5, you still robbed a bank. But as we were shattering the souls of the wicked, somebody said, like, they had this grand conspiracy that I have numerous SPs. Like, there's like Doink the Clown. Remember when Doink the Clown, like, there'd be all Doink the Clowns. It's like the Spider-Man meme. There's just a bunch of different. Well, anyway, one of my SPs was over today, and she said to me, she goes, babe, you should get your hair cut before jail. And I'm like, what? I shook my head, I looked at her, I go, what a fucking sentence, huh? What a fucking sentence. And it's a correct sentence. I mean, it's all very factual. I am indeed going to jail, and I do need a haircut. And there are only, 70, there's like 60 hours left for me to go get a haircut. So I better get on that shit. And then she said, and tomorrow after your show, we can get your commissary account or your canteen account all set up. And I'm like, I am fucking pumped. I'm excited. What a wild ride it's been, man. It's the kind of ride you can only shake your head and laugh at if you've learned all your lessons and you've acknowledged all the things you've done poorly and wrong and you've changed course. And in that regard, I'm kind of ahead of the system, I guess you could say, in a way, because I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. I understand. Whip cracks one more time. You're like, no, I got it. By the way, that doesn't hurt anymore. It's raw meat back there. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. You think it's raw meat back there now. So yes, it was today. She goes, oh, honey, she just kind of, she put her fingers through my hair and she goes, oh, we should get you got to get a haircut before you go to jail. I got to look nice. It's like picture day in school, you know. I got to make my hair look nice for jail day. I will. I'll make sure, you know. I don't want anything anyone can grab onto, you know. We want to avoid that at all costs. Let's see. Nader P says, you look like a lumberjack, only more gay. 8-Bit Gamer hates the title of tonight's episode. Let that be duly noted in tonight's minutes. MSO says Aaron's going to get his ass waxed before going to jail. Why would I don't understand. Could you explain that to me, MSO? Why would you? I don't understand why I would have to get my ass waxed.
I hope you die.
That's not MSO's drop.
Nobody's saying you can't own a gun. Nobody's even saying you can't carry a gun. All we're saying is you can't carry a gun in town.
Nader P says get cornrows. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I thought I was supposed to let people do my hair. I don't know. Eric Cartman, if that was the case, I wouldn't have already. Eric Cartman's a little spurgy. Benchtop Model says SP number whatever is a good egg. Yeah, whatever number SP this is. I got to check with Shit Show and everyone else. I got to see what number SP am I on? I thought I was on the original SP. I found out today that I'm wrong. They're the best. I don't want to pretend like I don't love them. You know, I don't want to pretend I don't love them. T. Jefferson says, come on, boss man. We know you got a harem of bangtails. Is that what we're calling them? Bangtails? Woo. Loaded Wrench says, bro, going to show up with a Spider-Man lunchbox. I'm going to be a Spider-Man lunchbox. Wait, what? What? T. Jefferson says that shirt is from the Brokeback and Bareback collection, but it was a gift, so he has to wear it. Thank you. Oodles of Toodles, we talked about this. It's not the Booty Bandit, the Booty Warrior. The Booty Warrior. No Pen 15 Fathead says, who really gives a shit who you are dating? Don't say that. They get really mad. If you say who gives a shit who you're dating, they're going to get really mad because they care. They care big time. Taste Fairy Ialto says, you're like Reagan letting all the crazies go. I really am. I'm the Ronald Reagan of podcasting. I just opened up the insane asylum. I'm more like Bane. I'm just opening up Arkham and letting them go. Why not? Dead Game says that shirt is from the Bendover collection. I get it. Might go, no word on anything yet. No word. I don't know. I don't have any idea how this shit goes. I don't know how it works. I'm sure I'll get word at some point. Does make it a little harder to make plans because I'm ready for either one. There is one option, like my lawyer put out an option that, like if it's weekends or if it's all of them, I'm really okay with either because both of them have positives, you know? But there's one that I think he threw out there. I don't know if he did. I certainly didn't ask for this one, but I think he threw out an option of like 2 segments of 4 days. I don't like that one. I don't like the 2 segments of 4 days because that's longer than a weekend, and then you got to do it twice. I'd rather have 4 2s or 1 8. Those would be my 2 preferences. So, knowing my luck, I'm going to end up with 2 4s. That's what I'm going to end up with. Honky says, what about house arrest? I don't really know. I mean, that would have been, I'd have taken 30 days of house arrest, but then you're such a lazy fuck. You just sit in your house. I think you can go like a certain like area or like out to your mailbox and shit, but like, I don't know. On a Wall says Thursday through Sunday 2 times sounds good. Huh. I mean, maybe. But no, I don't. I'm either weekends or all the way through would be my preference. Anyway, welcome to the show. You guys are very lively in the chat tonight. I appreciate that. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. RC in the chat says, whatever you do not go into jail with that hair part. My baby already told me. She said, you got to get your hair cut before you go to jail. I got to look nice for jail. Jerry Shepherdini says, do every 3rd Tuesday. I don't know. I did ask that. I did ask about doing 8-1s. I know you guys are going to say, like, the fucking balls on you to ask for 8-1. I mean, I can ask. I asked my attorney, I'm like, can I just do like a Friday, Saturday, or like I said Saturday, Sunday thing? And he goes, people don't typically do that. I go, well, motherfucker. So he didn't even propose that one. But why'd you do why 2 4s? Jerry Shepardini says, do you want me to do the fill-in shows to keep us on target for the goal? I would love that. You know, it does seem whenever Steel Toe starts getting ahead, whenever Steel Toe starts like really kind of pushing through the ceiling, if you will, something happens. Either Gino and Keanu ask for way too much money, or I go to jail, or, you know, it all seems to center on those two for some reason. Welcome to the show, Chad Buzmak. Glad to have you. Supernova says, you would have been done by now. If I would have went in like right away. Oh, yeah, but I didn't. You got to get shit together, you know? You got to get your shit put together, not pushed in. Mad Max Mardigan says, you're more like Hugo Strange releasing all the inmates from Arkham. There's no fucking way a retarded homo like you is Bane. Well, I guess I'm Dr. Hugo Strange. I mean, he sniffed out who Batman was. Ian Undercover says, you will have to get naked, show your penis, and squat and cough every time. No, that is not true, my friend. That is not true. Stearns County has the, act like I haven't been in the jail before. Stearns County has one of those scanner machines. So, luckily, I get to keep my dignity, or what's left of it. Mr. Q says, I'll tell you why 24 is because they still want you to work so you can pay to be in jail and probation, but they want you to actually taste the sitting in their time. Yes, no, I understand that. I understand that. Chad Buzamok says, you're finally admitting you paid them too much? Some growth and learning finally. No, they literally asked for more like a few days before, and I was like, oh, come on, guys, shit. I mean, it was nothing. I mean, I think their flight got more expensive, like something with their flight or something, and they asked, and I said yes. I mean, I could have said no, but I didn't. So, what do you do? Water under the bridge. Loaded Wrench says, Ian Undercover was talking about the showers, Aaron. Oh, well, that's way different. Yeah, I hear they might check your butthole on that deal. All right, guys, thank you very much. We got a lot to do tonight. I have to give it up. I was directed to a YouTube episode that came out last night, and they said a lot of your fans were in this chat. This is why you were so low on viewership last night. Now, I thought last night we were low on viewership because it was our first Monday in 2 months. And I'm like, look, nobody knows we're on Mondays again. So, you know, we'll be back up to 300 between all the things in no time. The B show will get back to where it belongs. Goals looking great, so I'm happy about that. But then I was informed by someone, a lot of Steel Toe fans were in Jesse P.S.'s chat last night. They said they saw at least 10 of them, and that was just looking through the chat. So Jesse had a Pod Awful episode last night. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get mad and be like, oh, God damn it, Jesse, you're stealing my... I love Jesse. I think Jesse P.S. is great. I think he's an incredible talent. So I went and checked out the episode. Holy fuck, was it good. We're going to watch a little bit of it tonight on the show. I didn't plan for this, but I was watching it before SP came over, and then after SP left and I was getting all this set up, I decided to check out Pod Awful's show last night. He was breaking news. He was spilling tea. He was doing the whole thing. And, you know, the thing about Pod Awful's episode last night is it proved a point that I've made numerous times. Everyone who tries to attach themselves like a barnacle onto the Steel Toe ship always ends up hurting themselves. They always end up stubbing their toes. They break out in all kinds of problems for themselves. To the point where I get 8 days in jail and I go, well, this is handleable. At least I'm not those guys. So I guess, like, if you were to hand out an award for the guy who best finds a new bottom in life, like the bottom keeps breaking and you're like, this has to be the floor, right? Keeps falling through the floor. it would be Mersh. And now look, I have, like, Mersh has fallen so far that he's tried to grab onto me on the way down to try and reclaim some kind of relevance. I mean, he's drinking, he's getting his shit repossessed. It's not going very well for him. But just as he catches a little traction with, like, the most bottom feeder, like, PDF, domestic assault, can't see their children crowd, like, as he becomes the rat king of the trailer park, he manages to fuck up even more. This time with Ethan Ralph. So Ethan Ralph found himself a new girlfriend. And, like, even people like the cleaner, he's like, stop lying about Mersh. There are still like 5 or 6 people who still hang on to this guy like he's some kind of dude. Guys, you understand, your life is way less sad than his is. Like, you've got more going on for yourself. You owe it to yourself to reach for a, bigger, shinier brass ring. So Mersh is apparently negging some girl in his audience. And he's like, oh man, I haven't known the touch of a woman in a coon's age. This is going to be great. And then the girl kind of gets bored of, Mersh not having any game, or Mersh not being able to talk to girls, or Mersh just being a complete bore with nothing going on for himself other than, did you see the thing Steel Toe did? Drinking way too much. I mean, when you have to, like, belittle Karmic to make yourself feel like you're the daddy of anything, bro, Karmic is a decent dude. He's okay. St. Caesar says Mersh has fallen so hard he makes Johnny look tall. So Mersh has this girl, and he wants to get with this girl, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. Ethan Ralph then gets with the girl. So Ethan Ralph cucks Mersh, and Jesse starts covering this yesterday. Mersh gets mad about it. Mersh starts coping on stream. He starts lashing out. He starts throwing fits. He gets really drunk. I mean, just humiliating himself. And I'm only like an hour and a half into Jesse's episode. And so Ethan Ralph has this new girlfriend, and God bless him. Good. I hope it helps Ralph find a lot of happiness and peace. I hope the whole thing works out for him. I hope they're both incredibly happy. She seems like a nice girl. And but this doesn't sit well with Mersh, so he starts getting pissed off about it. So then somebody decides to leak DMs between Mersh and this girl, and I shit you not, this is what I'm about to show you from Pod Awful. When Mersh found out that this woman was with Ethan Ralph, he threatened to kill her. He's just, look, we've all wanted a girl and it didn't work out. Yeah, I'm twice divorced myself. But you lick your wounds, you pick yourself up, you find out what you did wrong, you move on, and you try harder next time. Mersh has this consummate 15-year-old incel energy. He never grew out of it. That part I'm not laughing about. That part's tragic. That part needs nothing more, nothing less than a good therapist. And that's very serious. That could help. So Mersh threatens to kill this woman because he's got this 15-year-old incel energy where when a woman says no to you, you go, yeah, you must be a fucking lesbian. You wanted me anyway. I never wanted you. And he tries to tell what's left of his dying audience. He tries to convince them because these people's opinion matters to him. Like, he needs to look cool in front of his friends. He tries to make it look like, I warned everybody about this girl. I was like, all right, buddy, whatever. There's nothing more sad than you, like, not getting pussy. It happens. Everybody strikes out. We've all struck out. But when you strike out, walk to the dugout, work on your swing, give it another shot next time at bat. Don't fucking blame the umpire, blame the bat. It's fucking pathetic. So here is Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful showing these DMs of Mersh threatening to kill this woman if she runs her mouth.
That he was, never into this girl, right? Well, would a guy who's not into the girl be this level of mad? Let's leak some DMs.
Hell yeah.
Here's a private message between Mersh and Ice Dancer Okay, and I'm only doing this because apparently it's out there now. I saw Mersh tweeting about this, so this is out
Now, wait
there.
a minute. This is what I love about Jesse. He goes, now, look. Usually I'm a really good guy. Usually I'm really above board and I'm beyond this sort of thing. But, well, it's just out there. What am I going to do?
Now, I wasn't going to do this. So apologies to Ice Dancer. If she is not into this, apologies to Ethan. But it is apparently out there. Mersh is confirming this. Here we go. Here's Mersh. This is Ice Dancers in blue. She says, yes, and I wouldn't. Not that my word means anything. So clearly he's saying something like, don't leak anything.
Right.
Like, ironically.
Well, this has happened to Mersh before. Like, he falls for a girl really hard, and then the girl either rejects him, doesn't go far with him, or, like there was this one girl, I think her name was Show Me Kittens or something like that. And this woman, go watch the Porcelain documentary. He does this way better than either of us do. And this girl talked about how, he didn't know what he was doing in the bedroom, and he had a clinically small penis and all this other stuff. And it was, I'll say this for Mersh, it was too mean. Like, she went way too far. But then he decided to blow up a photo of her, like a nude photo of her, and then rip pieces off of it for donos because he was mad that she rejected him. So this is not a guy who handles rejection well. And mostly it's because he's old, he's poor, and he's not going to have that many chances. So each one, he kind of reminds me of the Eric Roberts character in those Lifetime movies I've been watching. Dr. Beck.
She's clearly telling her not to say anything. And then Mersh says, your word doesn't matter. If any of your pick me, I want to be part of Kiwi Farm's drama ass bullshit reaches the doorstep of my friends or the people I love, I will fucking kill you. Are we clear?
Like, dude, it's just the internet and it's just a girl. By God, you're going to be okay. Who cares? If she's a pick-me and she has pick-me friends, who gives a shit if they say mean things about you? You should be impervious to this stuff. You talk into a microphone for money. You should be impervious to this kind of shit. And take it from me, buddy. Don't fuck your fans. Because you're only fucking yourself in the end. I try to teach these people from my own bad beats. I try to teach these people from my own playbook, and they don't listen. I'm their best friend in the whole entire world, and they won't listen to me. I give them the best advice. I told Karmic, I go, don't bring your girl on stream. It's going to be bad. It's going to put a target on your back. And then now he's melting down all the time about his girl, and his girl's running her mouth, and blah, 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 blah. I told you. I didn't want to, but I told you. I tell this Mersh, don't go fucking these girls that just come around your chat and shit. It's going to be a problem. And now he's threatening to kill one of them because Ethan Ralph is fucking her. I'll tell you this. If I wanted to bang a girl and she said no and she went and banged Ethan Ralph, the only person I'm killing is me. I mean, that is really bad.
I hope you die.
Ugh.
Murder threat?
He's threatening to murder Ethan Ralph's girlfriend. Ethan, it's time. It's time to drop all the stuff, all the info, everything. This dude is saying he's going to murder your girlfriend, and I have a feeling this happened.
That's nuts.
Again, I have a feeling.
I will not like you're dead. I will fucking kill you. First of all, this is the least scary threat anyone could possibly get. Mersh with his little T-Rex arms and his alcoholism, even if he has a gun, the shakes are going to get him so bad he's not going to be able to aim right. Honey, you're going to be fine. Nobody's going to threaten you. I mean, my money would be on Ralph in any kind of fight to get to this woman. I mean, he's already beaten Mersh in a fight for this girl once. What's the second time?
This happened on, October 2nd. Okay? That means something to Mersh. And she says, okay, Mersh, I got it. And he says, good. Godspeed to you.
Godspeed.
Oh, I have these backwards. Sorry, I had this backwards. This is the first one. She says, I literally don't have association with anyone. I literally have no internet drama history or aspirations. I've been online most of my life, and I have a pretty clean track record of not being a messy bitch who seeks to destroy people. And this is
well, first of all, Mersh is destruction proof. You can't destroy him. I mean, my God, he's hitting every branch on the way down, you know? He couldn't even make it trying to be a steel toe orbiter. You know, now he's on to Karmic and Gino. Oof, it's rough. And now you're getting cucked by Ralph.
She didn't leak this. He says, yeah, I know, but we aren't. If your online life fucks up any of my people's real lives, I will kill you myself. Are we clear?
So he threatened to kill her twice. Now, again, consider the source. It's not that much of a threat, but the guy's a psycho. He's got a drinking problem. He's got a gambling problem. He's got a money problem. He's got a no women problem. He's got an anger problem. I mean, people talk about women being walking red flags. You got to recognize the guys, too. And that is a stay the fuck away nuclear fallout zone right there. Oh, my God. So if you're wondering what was going on last night, I don't know why I even went up against Jesse P.S. because I'm about an hour and a half into this episode. Ethan Ralph has just appeared on last night's Pod Awful. And that's where I'm at. So, I mean, good work, Jesse. Unbelievable job. And really, Jesse P.S. has been the devil for Mersh. I mean, he has owned Mersh constantly. He is essentially Mersh's Beelzebub at this point. Nefarious says Mersh threatened to kill her twice. Yes, he threatened to kill her twice. Taste Fairy, yes, I agree. The Show Me Kitties thing, that probably was illegal. Well, it's also illegal to write to someone, I'm going to fucking kill you. I mean, then that is against the law to say that to somebody. You can't just go tell people you're going to kill them. The cleaner is having a hard time coming to grips with the fact that the guy he idolizes online is a loser douchebag. He goes, where's the context? That was the context. I know. It is really sad to watch people have parasocial relationships with the people they watch and listen to. I like that I have an audience that calls me out. Like, there's people sending in money right now going, I fucking hate when you do this shit. Who gives a shit about these people, blah, blah. And I understand. I get it. It's better than being Cleaner because, and I'm not doing this to insult Cleaner or call him out, but like, when you're so blinded by the truth that you'll do anything to deflect it. I mean, it's too bad that people get that wrapped up. Let's go to 191 Redbird with $1. Says the fact that you know any of this information makes you a flaming well, look, is the guy wrong? $1 from Main Vein says this is fucking crazy. Anyone who tries to find love in this internet drama shit is a Tylenol baby. Rusty Grammar with $1 says just curious, what is a Mersh? Is that the East Coast version of Marsh? Like the marshed taters Aaron is filling in his prison wall. I'm not putting. Pool Scam Sam with $1.99 reminding me, he goes, you're the only one going to jail though, right? Right? Yeah, right? Isn't that fucking insane? It really is something else. It's fucking wild. Pod Awful TV says, believe it or not. Oh, is that real? If that's really Jesse, I hope that's the real Jesse. Mersh still threatened to kill a girl because he got cucked. It's true. I mean, he did threaten to. That's not hyperbole, and Jesse is very good at hyperbole. But he literally threatened to kill a girl because he got cucked by Ethan Ralph. And good for Ethan. Ethan playing babyface in this whole deal. Pod Awful says, believe it or not, Mersh is a gay cuck who sucks. He also ran a CP blog. Oh, yeah, that Tumblr. Jesse, what's the, what is that Tumblr? It's, Mersh's Tumblr had underage girls that had to be removed from Tumblr on it. It's not good. Mersh's guys love imagining gay sex. It's nuts. They are a little weird, but they are few and far between. At this point. Jesse says Mersh is in both. Okay. Thank you, Jesse, for showing up tonight. And I will say this, and he said it many times on his show last night, I think you have to admit Jesse P.S. is officially on a generational run. Jesse PS is on a generational run. Yeah, there it is. Mersh.tumblr.com. Mersh.tumblr.com. Yeah. Dead Game, are you trying to sexually harass Jesse PS? This is not a good look for our community. This is not a good look for this show, Dead Game. We're trying to roll out the red carpet for a guy who's on a fucking generational run, and you're threatening to touch his ass? Don't touch his ass. Dead Game says, fuck you, Jesse. I'm close enough to reach out and touch your ass, motherfucker. Guys, first of all, I just want to say to our esteemed guest, Mr. Awful, we're not into that sort of thing here, regardless of where I may be staying starting Friday. Number two, if we could keep the I'm embarrassed that I have to keep telling you guys this. If we could keep the homosexual threats to a minimum in both chats, that would be really, really nice, you guys. Really nice. Pot Awful says, this dude is so in love with Mersh, he's imagining touching me. It is a little gay. It is a little gay. All right. Eric Cartman says Aaron, who found April on the child-friendly Snapchat. Wait, what? That is a complete... She won a radio contest. Honky says, Jesse PS calling Alex Stein a K-word on Steel Toe is still podcast gold. You know, Alex told me that he didn't mind being on with Jesse. And I think I'm the only guy who's gotten the two of them in the last few years on a show together. I wish I still had that clip. If somebody has that, send it to me, because I don't think I ever uploaded it. I think I'm the only guy who got those two to talk to each other. And while Alex said he didn't mind that we did that, and I did get his permission to do the Jesse thing, I don't think Alex has returned a text or phone call from me since then. I hope I didn't upset him, because I really do like Alex. I never understood him treating Jesse PS like he's his kryptonite. I don't understand. Like, Alex can be yelled at by neocons, and Alex can be condemned by people with the power to vote on wars, and it doesn't bother him at all. Like Jewish guys who can push a laser button and have him fried in his chair, and he thinks it's fun and it's fine. But Jesse PS, for some reason, is his golem. He's his Voldemort. I don't understand. Like, I've been mocked relentlessly by Jesse PS. You know what he does? He says some very funny but mean things, and then he moves on to his next thing, and life really doesn't change at all. I don't understand. Like, one thing I loved about radio that I just don't get about the online world is a lot of you, and I guess there's nothing wrong with taking it seriously, but some of you take it so seriously, you lose your perspective and you lose your sense of humor. You know, and I'm not saying you're bad people for it, but it's sad to watch. It's sad to watch. All right, let's see what's coming into the commissary here. Redbird with $1 says, because your attempts to befriend or butt-fuck internet hosts have gone so well in the past. Podawful says, just post address in chat and I'll send coleslaw to everyone. I'm a little fucking annoyed that Jesse hasn't sent me any coleslaw since. I have to say. Pool Scam Sam with $1.99. How do you $50 turn into jail? You have to be a retard. All you got to do is be friends with Gino Bisconti, and all of a sudden it doesn't become hard, does it, Pool Scam? $30 away from tonight. Thank you very, very much. I think you can really tell if someone has a sense of humor or not based on whether or not they like Jesse PS. If you don't find Jesse funny, I think you probably take life too seriously. And if you do find him funny, I think you've got a sense of humor. Red Fox Mad becoming a member for 41 months says, everyone subscribe like I do. Come and join us. Show Jesse this channel is better than Jesse's channel. No. Easy. I don't need to fuck with a guy who's on a generational run. You understand, I had my generational run. I've fallen off. I don't need to fuck with generational runs. Jesse is okay by me. Hit the like and thumbs up button. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nightwave Radio. I wish it was the real Nightwave Radio. Not my Tumblr, and it was hacked. He does do a good Mersh impression, though. That's not a bad one. But it's not the real him. Hulkamash says, of course your one gripe is that you're not getting sent food. You have the soul of a fat. Pot Awful says, I'm going to Doc's dead game. Just got his IP address. I'm posting his info on Twitter right now. Oh, shit. If I didn't fuck up and embarrass myself so bad, I'd love to do some work with Jesse PS, but generational run. He shot past all of us just by keeping his nose clean, for God's sake, literally and figuratively. Jesus, Dead Game. Dead Game, I thought you were fucking around. I thought you were just kidding with Jesse. I didn't know you guys were being... Holy shit. He writes in all caps, that cocksucking gay F word has a day coming. Remember that. And now he's threatening to stomp Jesse's ass? Guys, it's the fucking... Calm down. It's words on a screen. It's words on a chat room. We don't have to be yelling that we're going to stomp people. First of all, let's get one thing very clear. None of you are going to do shit to each other. Second of all, I don't know if this is because I grew up with older cousins, not like Kanye, but like maybe Jesse and I grew up the same way. Like when people tease you like this, when they're taunting you like this, they want you to have the all caps reaction. They want you to get mad or upset or sad or whatever. And then they can keep poking the bear. You've shown them that it bothers you. Take this in good humor. It's just Jesse. He's fine. Jesse writes, I'm not joking. My guys are 40 minutes away. You're dead now. Oh, shit. I wish Jesse could. I would love to DM Jesse the phone number and he could call in, but I think he's probably got better things to do. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, Aaron, what do you do in the jail shower when a 400-pound guy grabs your penis while you are showering and you're both naked? I have a defense for that. Try to get such bad shrinkage that he can't grab my whole penis. That's right. That's right. Dead Game, could you do me a favor? Could you just give Jesse your address? And could he just send you some coleslaw? I feel like coleslaw could fix all this. I feel like if everyone could just get a little coleslaw, we would be all right. Or not. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe it's too far gone. Well, you know what, guys? Fucking fun start to the show. Thank you. $2 from NoPen15 says, I saw Jesse giving his toddler Coke on stream. I did see that too. I did see Jesse PS giving a toddler, he gave a toddler Coke on stream just before he brought me onto his show. And I really was not okay with that. Not okay with it. If that's the real Pot Awful in the Rumble chat, he's fucking hilarious. Why is Dead Game still engaging? Why is Dead Game still fucking around with Jesse? Tommy Jordan says, Aaron's hair looks terrible. LMO, he parted it. I need a haircut. I'm sorry, Tommy. Return Trip says, tell you what, I'll introduce you around, make you feel right at home. I know a couple of big old bull queers that would love to make your acquaintance, especially that big white mushy butt of yours. Thank you. It's nice to have friends. Main Vein with $1 says, Aaron, can you please remove Jesse's dick from your mouth and move on with the show? I'm sorry, I'm getting practice. Sorry that your life is so perfect that you don't have to go on the inside in a few days. I'm trying to get used to my new surroundings. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to finish that Pot Awful a little bit later today. Ethan Ralph did address the situation on his Twitter today, and Ethan is none too pleased. that those Mersh DMs got out. He says, it's not personal, but the record has to be corrected. I was going to wait, but I see the story being misrepresented. Mersh decided to make a situation public last night. My new girlfriend was talking to him for a couple of months. In fact, I only met her because he retweeted a pic of her looking pretty. Oh, what a simp Mersh is. He showed some interest, but never nailed anything down. That could be on his family crest. After it became clear I was with her, things spiraled. He threatened to kill her twice in DMs. We saw that less than 2 weeks ago. He ran her out of his chat and then his producer's chat. He had some insane conspiracy theory that she was working on an article. He repeatedly trashed me to her over this situation. He was very bitter, and I can only speculate as to why. I have a bit of experience with saying things while emotional and or drunk, and Mersh is always either emotional or drunk, so I cut him some slack. Even after he went on air 8 days ago and drunkenly said that I had taken the girl he had been talking to for months, I said nothing, and no one seemed to notice. I'm guessing nobody's watching. I didn't want this to be a story. Well, now it is by his choice. I've not referenced his moves at all throughout this time. I mean, you got to be a pretty big piece of shit for Ethan Ralph to look like the baby face. I'll tell you that. Mr. Sista says, kitty girl who has a bigger dick, you or Jesse? Trucker 18 Wheeler with $1 says, send Aaron Cinnabon Delights from Taco Bell, a.k.a. cum balls. That's uncouth. Pool Scam Sam with $1.99 says, Aaron will buy the house next to Jesse. I hope I can afford to live in the neighborhood of a guy on a generational run. All right, a lot of fun. Thank you guys very much. It was a good time, but we do have to move on. For those of you who don't like this kind of stuff, we are moving away from it. For those of you who do like this kind of stuff, get the fuck out of here and go do something. What are you so entrenched about this drama for? What are you, fucking gay? What are you, some kind of fucking incel loser? Go touch some grass. The fuck is wrong with you? Get out of here. It's Adult Swim. What do we have the rest of today? Oh, we have a cop shooting a black guy. I shouldn't say. Damn it. Given where I'm going to be living in a couple of days, I really got to stop saying shit that way. I don't mean that I'm excited. And I don't even know if the guy's black. I just know that this is a shooting. Actually, the guy might not be black because the family did say that the cop did the right thing and that the guy deserved it. So this might actually be a white dude. An off-duty Milwaukee cop fatally shot a man who pistol whipped him after a minor traffic accident. So there's a little fender bender. We have a little trouble. Somebody gets a little road rage, pistol whips a guy, catches some bullets for his trouble. I mean, this seems pretty open and shut, and we do have the dash cam footage here. Let's take a look. We'll play this as long as we can. I don't want to put anything too graphic up there, but this is in Milwaukee. Take your bets right now. We'll play Guess the Race. The family says that the off-duty police officer was completely justified in what he did. I don't know if that makes you lean one way or the other, but here it is. Uh-oh. Oh, he's veering into the wrong lane. Oh, you dick.
Fuck are you doing?
Correct. So if this is the guy, if the guy in front is the guy who pistol whipped him, then he's a fucking asshole twice. Once for trying to move over into that lane instead of braking and going in behind him. And number two for pistol whipping the guy. Oh. Either that is a white man with a lot of dark clothing on, or that is one pissed off brother. And judging by the speech pattern, that would be one pissed off brother. Whoa! That ain't good. Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, shit, and there's some more shots. You would think after the first volley of shots, you would be like, oh, all right, you got me, King. We're good. We're all right, boss. No need to fire any more shots. You don't come around the corner and have another go at him. What did he do? Did he give him a throat shot with the gun, by the way? I think he got him in the throat. Yeah, oh yeah, he did. He jacked him right in the teeth. Okay, so there he is coming around the corner again. How jacked is your fucking heart rate? Like, how bad are you shaking right now? If you're both of them. Like, I don't know if he hit him that first time. He might have got him with one in that first round of shots, but he definitely stopped him with the next round of shots. How fucking shaky are you in that situation? I mean, your blood is pumping. Your adrenaline's going 1,000 miles per hour. Shit. I don't think that's going to be a problem, sir.
Don't move.
Yep, I don't.
Walk and please. Stay on the ground.
Another reason why you don't just start jumping perfect strangers in broad daylight. I mean, you never know who's carrying, never know who's packing. This is also why it's a good crime deterrent to allow states to have weapons carry laws. And I mean, personally, I'm a bit of an extremist. I believe in constitutional carry. I believe the Second Amendment is your concealed weapons permit. I don't mind that the state of Minnesota makes you display some sort of weapons proficiency before it allows you to carry in public, because, if you're going to be carrying a weapon in public, you should know how to use it and be accurate with it, so you're not, spraying all over the place. But I lean towards the constitutional carry. I mean, you get criminals, you get people who want to be violent, you get them thinking that anybody they cross could have a pistol in their holster or in their pocket or in their purse or whatever. They're going to think twice before they do some violent shit. So I like this. Good for him. You don't pull out a gun and pistol whip. So then he pointed it at the guy after that. The subject proceeded to strike the off-duty officer in the face with a firearm. And I just want to be clear, I don't think the officer being an off-duty cop has anything to do with whether or not this was justified either. If this was just an armed citizen, I think they would have had the right to defend themselves in this case. The off-duty officer drew his department-issued firearm. The two individuals exchanged gunfire, and the subject was struck. The subject, a 26-year-old male, was pronounced dead at the scene. No one else was struck by gunfire. The officer was conveyed to the hospital for treatment of injuries sustained during this incident. The officer that discharged his duty weapon during this incident was a 40-year-old male with over 21 years of service, so he got in like right after school. The officer was placed on administrative duty as is routine in officer-involved shooting investigations. The Milwaukee Area Investigative Team is investigating this incident. The West Allis Police Department is the leading agency. And yeah, the family acknowledged that the shooting was justified. The family did come out and say, look, essentially they said, look, our family member here did fuck around and did indeed find out. And that's what happened. I don't think I don't think this is going to be a very long investigation. At least I hope it's not a very long investigation. It doesn't need to be. Main vein with $1, and I am definitely not going to read that. The cleaner says he would be in prison if he wasn't a cop. I really hope not. I would like to think that even an armed citizen, a legally armed citizen, would be exonerated in that sort of a thing. Phil Herslet says, I have fucked around many times and never found out much. I don't recommend it. I can't really recommend it. Loaded Wrench says he came over in the guy's lane and then blamed the guy. Stupid games. equals stupid prizes. Couple that shoots says libto is bad. Wait a minute. How am I libto now? I'm advocating for constitutional carry. I'm saying that a armed society is a polite society. I'm not going to be able to escape libto, am I? Chevmatic says, nah, Aaron, if this was Gears of War, you just stay in cover long enough to recover some health before returning to the firefight. Apparently so. Jesse Esparza says, I love Texas for that reason. Yeah. I mean, Texas has some pretty loose gun laws. Mad Max Mardigan, Michigan isn't the stand your ground state. If they want, they'll nail him to the wall for murder. This is Wisconsin. Milwaukee. Not Michigan. This is a Wisconsin deal. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what... I mean, they're our neighbor, so I should kind of know. I'm not sure what Wisconsin's carry laws are. The Pants Maestro says, you've always been libto. Well, I mean, that's true. To a certain portion of the audience, I'm sure I've always been libto. Wisconsin carry laws. Wisconsin allows for both open and concealed carry for eligible individuals, but a permit is required to carry a concealed handgun. A permit holder must be at least 21 and can carry in most public places, including restaurants and state national parks. But must not consume alcohol while carrying and must respect private property restrictions. A handgun can be carried in a vehicle without a permit if it's completely visible, but a license is needed for a concealed firearm. So you can open carry without a permit. You can just keep it on your hip. In order to conceal it, you got to have a permit for it. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's actually less liberal than I thought they were going to be. Hey, $5 from numero uno Josh Denny fan says, let's turn this fucking party up. All right, I have a feeling that I'm going to get more karmic music from numero uno Josh Denny fan. I have a question. How does a guy from northern Minnesota, like really a yokel, how does a yokel from northern Minnesota, I've lived in this state my whole life. People in northern Minnesota they're touched. They're different. They're beyond hillbillies. They're something else. They're just off. There's more moose than people where they live, and they just didn't get socialized enough. So how does a guy from northern Minnesota end up being an EDM house party fucking weirdo? Let's see what numero uno Josh Denny sent us for that $5. But what do you believe in borderlines? I don't know what this is, but he sent it twice now. That karmic guy loves this shit, apparently. This is his jam. And this is what karmic's into, apparently, is the big cartoon titties. People from northern Minnesota are different. They're just different. $20 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much. Look, we're only $20 away from tonight, and that's fine, and we can have a lot of fun tonight. But I've really kind of enjoyed the evening crowd staying a day ahead while the morning crowd, the morning crowd is killing it. They're doing a great job. Today they knocked it out. They're already over for tomorrow, but you guys have been a special case. So let's see if we can keep that going. We are also 91 memberships from 600 on Rumble. We're actually 34 memberships away from 500 on YouTube. If we hit either of those numbers, if we hit the 600 on Rumble or we hit the 34 needed for the 500 on YouTube, I will go until 9 o'clock tonight. I will go until 9 if we hit either of those numbers. Jesse is in the chat saying, dead game, you have an Amazon order. Check your front porch. You see, if you would just have a sense of humor and let shit like that go, none of this would be happening. Pool Scam Sam says they don't have Ilhan Omar, though. We're so lucky. We're so lucky. Loaded Wrench says, when you get a haircut, try not to ask for the George McFly this time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Dad, about time to get that oil changed. Twisted Question Mark says, I like his hair better like this. How about that? How about that? We got one person who likes my hair like this. They think I'm just a cute boy. That's all. Mimi says, what happened to your hair toe? New look, not bad. See, and I don't know when people are fucking with me. Chefmatic with $2 says, you can have this if you don't return to drama. I don't have any drama stuff tonight. I just wanted to pay homage. I thought Jesse is, I'm in the middle of a great Jesse PS episode. I didn't watch the next episode of Ed Gein because I was so taken by the generational run. 191 Redbird with $1 says, you're not completely wrong about northern Minnesota, but the white suburban degens are in no position to criticize the rest of us. Look, the north suburban kids are not quite as fucking gay and soft as, say, like the south and west suburban kids. The north and east suburban kids will beat the living fuck out of the west and south suburban kids. Those kids are the real pussies. Ugh. God damn. I mean, east, I'll tell you this. Northeast is probably where they're the worst. Northeast will fuck you all up. But the north suburbs, the east suburbs, they got those south suburban fruitcakes. That's for sure. There was a Minnesota thing in here, and I just scrolled past it. I'm sorry. Dick Kazinya says someone from Stearns County, Mogadishu, trashing northern Minnesota is rich. All right, that hurts. I identify as a north suburban kid. Twisted Question Mark says, this stuff from this morning was vicious. I know, I was kind of mean this morning. I did break a whole shitload of people, and a lot of them didn't come back. I think I embarrassed them. I didn't mean to. I was just trying to have fun, and I think a lot of them blew a gasket. I will say it was very funny DMing with Stalin, though. I did tell Stalin, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that wasn't you. But in fairness, I did say that I still love you no matter what. He's a good sport, that Stalin 19. I should have known it wasn't him when it turned out to be a complete fucking brain-dead psychopath. And then, you know me, like, I just kept poking him and taunting him and poking him. You could argue that the way I wasn't very nice either. Oh, my God, guys, thank you. Back up over 300 tonight. There we go. Do me a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. Oh, man, nearly at 300 with just YouTube and Rumble itself. All told, we are up over 300 again tonight. Oh, my God, the B Show is back at it after last evening. Make sure you keep spreading the word. I appreciate that. We also have only $20 left in tonight's goal. $1 from Main Vein says, Aaron, what the fuck happened to you? Why are you being liberal and not reading Rumble rants now? Your woman? Money? It's taking away from the show. You used to have balls, and I respected that. All right, fine. Here's what Main Vein wrote earlier about the Milwaukee story. $1, yes. One down, millions to go. I disavow. And I see that Dead Game and Jesse. Dead Game, why do you let people get you wound up like this? Twisted Question Mark says, you were funny. That guy was crazy. Well, I know, but I kind of poke those guys a little too hard sometimes because it is funny. And, you know, it almost seems like they're working for me. All right. So, you know, last night we played you that clip of Alyssa Farah from The View. And Alyssa Farah was like, if Trump gets those hostages released, I'll wear a MAGA hat all day on the show. And this was back in like December, January, whatever. I think it would show a great sense of humor on Alyssa Farah's part if she wore the MAGA hat on the show. I mean, you're not going to turn to dust. You're not going to burst into flames. Sonny Hostin might, but you won't. But she hasn't done it yet, even though Trump has gotten those hostages freed. Oh, and by the way, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. I don't want to muddy up the evening show with shop talk, but they're already trying to blame Hamas and break that ceasefire, dude. It's very tense right now. They're trying to say that Hamas is executing people in the street, that Hamas is already taking control as Israel pulls out, and they're abducting people and all this. And I just have this bad feeling that Israel is itching to break this thing. Like, they're going to get their hostages back, and then they're just going to go right back to work. I've got a bad feeling about that. But somebody did ask Trump today. He was doing a celebration. They were giving Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He gave it to his widow. They posthumously honored him with the highest honor a private citizen can get. And, you know, Charlie, of course, I think the impact just his death had kind of warrants it. Well, somebody decided to ask President Trump about the Alyssa Farah MAGA hat thing. And Trump is not one to shy away from his accomplishments. And he has been taking a victory lap on this Mideast peace thing. And I'll be real with you. If this peace thing holds, he deserves all the credit in the world. But here's what he had to say about the Alyssa Farah situation.
Alyssa Farah, she is one of the hosts on ABC's show The View. She said a while back, I'll quote, "If Trump gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on this show and say thank you for doing it." Your response?
Well, did she put the hat on?
Well, she hasn't got the hat yet.
Who is it? Which one?
Alyssa Farah.
Okay. Well, she used to work for me. So she used to work here. I'll tell you about Alyssa. She worked here. She gave me the most beautiful letter when, you know, the administration, the time came up, the election was rigged. I left. She gave me the most beautiful letter you've ever seen. I was a great president. What a great job. Some of the letters have been quoted. This is Alyssa, who I never thought was very outstanding. I figured she would not make it. And she...
What a fuck. It's like he's got a playbook for shit like this. It's just the subtle shit talking. I'm actually impressed by her. I didn't think she'd make it. She sucked. She was bad. But good to see that she's doing well. Thought she'd fail.
Didn't have a big role here either. And then we had January 6th, and she left after that or before that, but she gave me the most beautiful letters. And then even months after she left, and while we weren't here any longer, she sent another letter, glowing letter, beautiful letter. And then she got hired by The View, and they gave her a couple of bucks, and she changed her view very quickly.
She did. I mean, they did hire her to be like, oh, my God, they've got a Republican on The View. Who says we're a bunch of postmenopausal broads who yell liberal things into the ether? And then Alyssa Farah just became basically another, you know, Trump's a piece of shit, kind of left-leaning Republican and name only kind of thing. It just happens over there. I think they kind of, I don't know if they make you do it or if the money makes you do it, but Anna Navarro was supposed to be a Republican, believe it or not. Now you can't tell any of their positions the same. So it's not just their cycles that sync up.
I never thought she'd make it. Never thought she had what it took in any way. You know what that means. But she's on The View. But it just shows what a fraud The View is, because this woman gave me letters and statements. She said I was the greatest president in her lifetime. Now, she's not that old, so I didn't consider it a great president. But I've had better.
Can we send her a hat?
Well, recently I've had the greatest president of them all. I like that much better.
Well, I think he should send her the hat, and he should say, you can keep this hat as long as you fulfill your promise and you wear it on The View. I mean, there's no wiggle room on this one. She said if he gets the hostages released, I will wear a MAGA hat for an entire show. The hostages have been released. She ought to honor her end of the deal, I think. James says RFK Jr.'s wife was on The View today. Yes, and we do have some clips for that for tomorrow's show. I just didn't want to bog down today. I knew we had the drama thing and people were going to get tired of that. So I didn't want to, bang on and on with, RFK Jr.'s wife and make it too heavy. Mimi says, do you really think Palestinians and Hamas aren't fighting already? I mean, Hamas is supposed to be out of there. That's supposed to be part of the deal. And then Tony Blair's, Zionist group is supposed to be an impartial authority figure in that area until everything gets cleaned up. I'll believe that when I see it. But I don't know if the Palestinians and Hamas are fighting already. But the one thing I do worry about is Hamas not leaving quietly and Israel using that as a reason to go back in. Pray by 12 also says Bibi doesn't want to be prosecuted. That's just it. He's up on corruption charges in Israel, and every time it was time for him to go to court, he'd bomb something else. He'd bomb Iran, or he'd bomb Qatar, or he'd bomb Syria. So I worry about his kind of wag the dog technique. You notice when they signed that peace deal, Trump said, and they ought to pardon Bibi. And so I wonder if that wasn't part of the peace deal, if there wasn't an under the table thing between Trump and Netanyahu where he said, get me out of this. So we'll see. Twisted question mark says something about Kirk's wife is bothering me. I've heard quite a few people say that she doesn't seem to be playing the part of a grieving widow, but I can't go that far just because everybody grieves differently. Everybody handles those there's people mad at me because I'm making jokes about going to jail. That's how I deal with shit. I accept it. I'm not delusional about it, and I accept it, and I move on with my life. I think a lot of people kind of project how they would feel about it onto me, and I don't think that's really fair to either of us. Bocephus the Negromancer says, from Eddie Munster to Bobby Hill with the hair. You know what? I'm listening to SP, and I'm going in for a haircut before I go to jail. Red Fox Mad with another $4.99 says Twin Cities mayors call for gun control. It's on the news now. Shit. After the Annunciation shooting and all this other stuff, they are going to try. I believe they're going to try and push some pretty heavy-duty gun control stuff. I don't think it should be much of a surprise. $15 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. Keep gifting those memberships. Keep throwing in a couple of bucks. Obviously, we'll knock out tonight, but I'd like to see us take a big chunk out of tomorrow as well. Redbird with $1 says there is video from yesterday of people dragged out of houses and shot in the head. Yeah, we have that for tomorrow also. Main Vein with $1 says, you get my $20 at the end of the show this morning. That was for Erica. I did, and thank you very much for the dollar, or for the $20. I'm sorry, I appreciate that. We only played a little of it. If you want more, I can do it to play us out tonight if you'd like. Main Vein says, Aaron, did you see what Alex Jones said about Trump's health today? No, I didn't, but if you have a link, I'm all about it. Richard Head says, Aaron, do you golf Boulder Ridge? Oh, I'm about to tank the numbers now. Somebody asked me about golf. Let's strap in, boys and girls. Sometimes I do, yes. I'll tell you when I golf Boulder Ridge. If you go around twice at Boulder Ridge, it's a par 70. So each 9 is 35. It's a par 35. So it's a little bit shorter course. And I like to go there when I'm kind of on a slump, when I've been struggling at Territory or Blackberry or at Wapakata or any of these other, or especially Rich Springs. I fucking suck there. Well, Kimball, too. I'm terrible at it. If I'm struggling at any of those courses, I'll go to Boulder Ridge a few times because you can reach their par 5s in 2 shots if you crush them both. You can fuck up their par 4s and still par the damn thing. I really like Boulder Ridge when I need a little softer touch, when I need a slump buster. Boulder Ridge is my fat girl, put it that way. Are the courses still open? Because, boy, I'm telling you, I could go for one more round before I'm in the slammer like MC Hammer. Got the kids all Thursday. At least Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to be out of commission. Maybe next week I could get a day out on the course. That would be all right. But yes, I do golf Boulder Ridge from time to time. There is a lot there's a lot more like back and forth on my hair tonight in the Rumble chat is not gay. The YouTube chat's a little gay. They're doing a lot of hair commentary tonight. And I will say that they are way more what's the word? Divided on my hair than I thought they'd be. Like this, I literally had today's hair and it had fallen down and I just combed it off to the sides so we could just to have my hair done for the show. And I thought it was going to be nothing but nonstop ridicule. And don't get me wrong, it's been about 70-30, 65-45, or 65-35. But it's been a lot less vicious than I thought it would be. A lot less, which, I prepare for the worst and hope for the best, I guess. Twisted question mark says, I would be terrified, but I'm female. So I guess that's normal. I'm not. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting. I'm kind of like, I'm not being arrogant about it. I'm kind of like, I'm waiting. Like maybe it'll hit me at some point. But I think I really am just facing it with a really good attitude. As the days get closer, I'm like, I'm kind of looking at it the way you look at a dentist appointment. I'm like, this is going to fucking suck. But it's something you do. It's a very small time window. And then it's over with. And then it's done. And you come out and you tell your stories, and I'm sure the fans and the audience, they'll love to hear the stories and everything else, and it'll be an experience. It's also like this deals with mistakes that were made almost years ago at this point. So like I've learned all my lessons from my sins and my bad behaviors of the past, and I've moved on. I've become a better person with them. So I've actually got a very good attitude, and becoming more religious has helped as well. So like accepting this and taking it in stride is very easy because I'm very proud of who I've become. And I've really learned a lot, and I've learned a lot of things that I can pass on to my kids and teach them and hopefully keep them away from some of the bad things in life. So I like that. There's, going to therapy, becoming religious, there's a peace that it gives you. And if I could say anything to people who hate steel toe, I would say this. Don't get mad at people because they've become peaceful. Like, don't make that turn you angry. Don't let that make you turn you cynical because you're only going to hurt yourself. And also it kind of makes me a shittier person because I laugh at you for it. And that's also not nice. That's a character flaw in me that I laugh at these people who let other people's peace make them upset. I got to do better than that. Got to do better. And then I get people in RP in the chat who bring me right back down to earth. He goes, hey, don't drop the soap. Fair enough. Fair enough. Loaded Wrench says, when Aaron bends his head down, I see the two turtle doves from Home Alone 2. Thanks. Thank you so much. Red Fox Mad says, Aaron, did you see Boulder Ridge is for sale? I belong to the St. Cloud County Cloud. You should join. It's awesome. Belong to a private golf club. Well, send me some information. I'd love to know more about it. But Boulder Ridge is for sale? Fuck, I would. How much? God, do you think you could get in a fucking like a consortium, like a group of people and buy a golf course? Here's the thing. Are they profitable? Are golf courses profitable? Yes, a well-managed golf course can be profitable, but many face significant financial challenges due to high operating costs and market pressures. Profitability depends on factors like location, demand, effective cost management, and generating revenue through multiple streams, such as memberships, green fees, food and beverage sales, and pro shop sales. Some courses stay afloat through auxiliary services like event hosting and by diversifying their income. I wonder... I would like to, like, if there was a group that wanted to, fuck it. Hunter with $5 says, we've conditioned you to think 70% negative feedback is a good thing. Yes, 20 years in the broadcasting business will do that to a guy. When you spend 20 years doing this, that's what happens. That's what happens. Numero Uno says, what's this retard babbling about? He got from golf and his hair to his fake Christian bit. Real Christian. I don't know what to tell you. Chad Buzamok says, no, every golf course fails because they are never profitable. You have very poor business sense. Not going to argue with him there. Rabbi Smoothie says, so it's just like any other business. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's like any other business. If you can make money, you'll be profitable. If you can't, you won't be. Wow. I can't imagine how like a Minnesota golf course stays profitable, though. You know, without like the event center to have things going year round, or the bar or anything like that. I don't know how, because you have such a small window. You have May, well, let's say, I'm sure some of them open in April. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You have 7 months a year to make your money. Mr. Q says, every therapist has more problems than you probably do, so I wouldn't trust him. Oh, I don't know. You talk to 4 or 5 different therapists before you pick one. You'll find a good one. Hey, boys and girls, just $10 away from tonight's goal. You guys are doing fantastic. Keep it up. Keep it going. Wonderful work. 91 memberships on Rumble away from 600, 34 away from 500 on YouTube. Keep it up, and let's see if we can make it. All right, this is the state of Minnesota, our lovely state that everyone loves so much, talking about guns.
Today, mayors across the metro are demanding cities get the ability to pass their own gun bans. That's if the state won't pass one of its own.
And as our Karen Scullen reports, it comes as a possible special session, rather. It's just looking less and
less. Or a special session. Well, here's the thing. Our governor wanted a special session after the Annunciation shooting, but he wanted the Republicans to agree to an assault weapons ban, whatever the fuck that means. And they said that's a non-starter. We're not going to do it. And they said, if you're going to push for a gun ban, we're going to push for a reversal on the ban on conversion therapy. And Tim Walz said, well, you know, I'd rather protect trans people more than I want to protect people from mass shootings. So I'm going to go ahead and say no. So again, it's Tim Walz not going his way. And him taking his ball and going home. So now the cities are saying, well, let us enact our own gun laws, and then we'll enforce them within our city limits. And do you have any idea what a nightmare that's going to be? You go from Minneapolis to St. Paul to, Columbia Heights to Edina, and there's different laws in different cities. And oh my God, it's just a recipe for disaster. And Minneapolis's gun laws are going to be fucking stupid. They're going to take after Chicago. Only criminals are going to be walking around with guns. They'll know everyone else is a walking target because they'll be unarmed. Don't let them do this.
It's likely to happen.
The issue kind of swirling around the proposed assault weapons ban has really been in the forefront of the conversation since the Annunciation church shooting. The mayors that gathered are proposing a set of policies that will ban public possession of assault weapons, ban switches that make any gun a machine gun, a ban on guns in libraries.
Look at that. Do you really think that guy should be making decisions on what guns are allowed and what guns aren't? Like, what the fuck does this babyface dipshit know about guns? What is Jacob Fry? All Jacob Fry knows how to do is make ads in Somali and eat ass. That's about it. He can pucker up and smooch ass. That's about what he can do. Melvin Carter in St. Paul, I mean, if you ask me, Melvin Carter, I think, is to the left of Jacob Fry. So St. Paul, but I think St. Paul is doing a little better than Minneapolis is right now.
And rec centers, and require every gun to have a serial number, which is essentially a ban on ghost guns.
Well, that's good, because nobody ever scratches those damn things off. I love how they think people who break the law already are going to follow the new laws that you make.
They say if the legislation can't be passed at the state level, state lawmakers should repeal the preemption laws that prevent cities and counties from regulating firearms, ammunition, and related components.
We have asked, and we're asking again, for our state to either act and set those things into law statewide, or remove the preemptions that prevent cities from being able to implement these laws.
We must do something. And if it's...
This is so retarded. I hate that line. We must do something. Okay, Doing something doesn't always equal helping, though. Yeah, we should do something. Sure, if you're sitting in a leaky boat, drilling a hole in the bottom is doing something, but it's not helping. No, you don't need to do something. You need to help the problem. And honestly, the number one thing that would help the problem is just opening back up those fucking state hospitals and locking Looney Tunes the fuck up before they can hurt anybody. But I just think as a race of people, we've evolved beyond that. We're not going to do it again.
If state and federal leaders don't act and won't act, cities absolutely will. Cities will lead on gun violence protection in one simple way and one simple reason: we're the closest to the problem, and we are closest to the solution in so many ways.
If the state does not act to protect our children, I believe cities should be allowed to take action at the local level. It's very simple. Our children deserve better.
Okay. Please show me the statistics of how many law-abiding legal gun owners are killing children. I would be very interested to see those numbers. You know, in Minneapolis, you see all these numbers every weekend about these mass shootings that take place. You know, all these different mass shootings that are happening. And I'd really like to see how many of those are committed by people who owned the firearms they used legally. I would really like to see that number. I mean, they never provide that for you because I don't think it supports what they want to go for. Like, ever since they thought they would do, people who were against guns thought they would do this brilliant thing a while back where they would broaden the definition of the phrase mass shooting, which was more than 2 shot, more than 2 dead. That's a mass shooting. Well, they wanted to prove that these white gun hillbillies were massacring people. Since they've changed the definition, most of these mass shootings are being done by African Americans. Black people are doing most of the mass shootings. So they had to go and create another caveat to it. They keep track of non-gang related mass shootings. And then they go, oh, see, black people only commit 25% of those, you racist. It's like, all right, can we... Here. What percentage of all mass shootings... No, percentage of mass shootings by race, including gangs. Because they do this new thing, though, where they go, not gang-related. Public mass shootings, excluding gang violence. 54% black, 16%... I'm sorry, 54% white, 16% black, 9% Latino. That's non-gang violence. Now, including gang violence, it goes to this. Analysis of data shows that when gang-related incidents are included, the percentage of black perpetrators increases to 50% or higher, while the percentage of white perpetrators decreases to 30 to 35%. In other words, white people commit mass shootings lower than their percentage of the population. So these gang-related shootings, by the way, which are making up most of your mass shootings, are not done by people who hold registered weapons permits. These aren't people who are owning guns with serial numbers on them. These are criminals who are possessing and using guns illegally. But all these cities want to make a rule. And the rules they want to make are not geared towards saving lives, but pursuing their agenda. The thing that bothers me most about politicians and politics, and this is right and left, in this case, it happens to be the left. Every problem that faces their society, just oddly enough, the solution happens to be the thing their people have wanted to do for the last 70 years. Just amazing how that works out.
But today, Rob Dorr of the Minnesota Gun Caucus said these mayors know they can't take any meaningful action on the ordinances they're proposing. These measures are either entirely symbolic or legally unenforceable and will be vulnerable to court challenge. It may earn headlines and the praise of anti-gun activists, but it's not serious governance.
No, it's not. And the other thing is, people will continue to die. People will continue to be victims of gun violence. And you guys will just pat yourself on the back and go, look what we did. It's a tale as old as time. $5 from Red Fox Mad. Where does that put old Red Fox? At 25 for this week. Thank you, buddy. Red Fox Mad. Oh, the St. Cloud Country Club. You said St. Club Country Cloud. You know, I've thought about that, but I would be like the redneck of the country club. Like, I would not be one of those guys who they're like, oh, yeah, golf course, yeah, country club. I'm a country club kind of guy. I would be like the guy in the Who Farted t-shirt, unfortunately. That's how I'd be looked at. Trucker 18-Wheeler says, why can't St. Cloud have good food? Oh, yeah, he sent us a link. The Red Robin in St. Cloud is closing down. I don't know. You and I have a different take on what is good food. I got to change the sizing of that window, by the way. I don't consider Red Robin good food. Overpriced fast food burgers, to be honest with you. They're not, look, the burgers aren't bad. It's just that they're not $20 good, is all. They're, I don't know, mildly a step above a McDonald's cheeseburger. That's not an insult. I'm not a guy who shits on the McDonald's cheeseburger, but it's just, I don't, if you want to talk about good food, I don't really put Red Robin in that category. I'm actually excited Red Robin's closing down. They can put something else in its place. $1 from Redbird says, you will disarm and you will let a third world rapist hang out at your children's school bus stop and you will like it. Oh my. JS with 199 weighing in on the hot topic tonight says, your hair is so bad. My God. Put him in that 65, 70% we were talking about. Steve C with $2 says, when do you go to jail? Friday. Friday is the day. Chad Buzmak says, I have a feeling a month from now, he will still be talking about needing to resize chats in the screen. Somebody send a super chat in and I'll show you. I'm going to get that resized right now. I'm going to get that resized right away, my friend. I'm telling you. Loaded Wrench says, Aaron looks like he's done half a chemo. I am not. Twisted question mark says, LOL, y'all are so mean about the hair. I like it. Thank you. I have some supporters in the chat. By the way, SP texted in. She said, buddy, I really don't give a shit if you cut your hair or not before jail. You do you. No, baby, I think I should get a haircut before jail. It's a kind of a funny thing to say. I got to go get a haircut before jail. I'll buy the golf course with you, toots. All right, well, either that or we go become hobnobbing country club types, babe. One of the two. Oh, and they do weddings there at the country club. So that could be like a 2-for-1. You know? I did have, they don't tell you like how much it is to join a country club either. Like you got to email them and then they email you back and then you got to do this whole secret handshake shit and then they'll send you like a brochure. Steve C with $2 says weekends only. We don't know yet. I kind of have an idea of what it's going to be, but I don't want to jinx it. So there were 3 options. One of the options I really don't like. The other 2 I'm totally fine with. The one option of 2 4s. I don't like 2 4s. Let's either do 1 8 or 4 2s. One of those 2. But 2 4s? Oof. I don't know. That's kind of the worst of both worlds. 191 Redbird with $1 says, the hair is gay as fuck. Looks good on you. Oh, I get it. Because I'm gay. Steve C with $2 says, is it hard to stop thinking about it? You wouldn't believe how easy it's been to not think about it. You know, I talked about that earlier in the show today. I'm kind of like, I'm fine with it. It's just the last little thing to do. And, you know that, you know what it is. You know why. You're at peace with that. You know, you get it. You understand. And even the people who hate me kind of understand. But, no, I don't think about it that often. I should. Look, man, I'm as surprised as you are. I kind of thought I'd be thinking of it all the time, and I'm not, and I'm kind of, in a weird way, oddly curious. I've got some friends kind of involved with that whole thing, and they've been giving me information and all this stuff. It's it'll be a fascinating deal, really. I'm handling it, I think, much better than someone should. The Cleaner with $1 says Aaron's hair is a warning to SP that even wiping front to back has its risks. I think he's trying to say that my hair is shit. Steve C with $2 says I would lose sleep. And I'm not. I agree, but I agree with you. I thought that it would be a dread kind of a thing. I've been pleasantly surprised. $5 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. Trucker 18 Wheeler says, what contest did SP win on the radio? Thanks. Thank you. Waylon says, well, I think we know what side Waylon ends up on. Says, what the fuck is up with Aaron's hair? Hey, you guys want to see something? Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to do something. Give me a second. Uh-oh. There we go. I got a little something for you. There. I think I fixed it. All right. There you go. That looks like absolute shit, but at least it's not going to cover up my face or whatever. All right. $5 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. Here's what I want. I want to knock out tonight, obviously. I want to put a little dent in tomorrow. How about that? Twisted question mark says, I bet if they say 8 straight days, he'll only do 4 or 5. No, I don't think that's how it works. Twisted question mark says, do you get to do Friday morning show? Yes, don't forget. Friday morning show is the Canteen special. We're going to do Canteen Friday. We're going to do Canteen Friday, and then it's off to, and then I'm going to have some lunch with my family. And then like Ray Liotta and Goodfellas, I'm going to go, take me to jail. JS, I mean, look, a lot of desperate people say a lot of desperate things when they're, when they can't get their own shit together. What do you want from me? I'm at peace. I wish others could be as well. Redbird with $1 says, I genuinely respect how well you've handled the last 6 months. Thank you. And I have done an amazing job. It has made people upset. It shouldn't. I really wish that the peace I found and the happiness I found wouldn't bring so many other people anger, but I also can't be in control of that. So what do you do? $5 left until we're all done for tonight. Thank you very much. Numero uno says, I don't give a fuck about any of these topics. I want to hear some Karmic X. Oh, now Chad Buzamak says the text box looks worse now. God damn it. Hold on. I'm going to fix this. For some reason, I care what Buzamak thinks. So there we go. We're going to shrink that down. And we're going to go, what do you think? Like that? And then, how about that? Is that better? I just want people to be happy with me. How about that? That looks good. There is nothing wrong with that one right there. The cleaner says the box looks like your asshole after 8 days. Brian says you should sneak some sleeping pills in your prison pocket and just sleep the 8 days. I mean, look. What I should do is get some working out in. I should do some planking and some sit-ups and shit like that. I'd like to think I will, but I won't. I would like to think I will. Twisted question mark says, I don't know. They seem angry. Haters that involved seem dangerous. Yeah, I mean, I think one of them someday will get so angry that they're not getting what they want that they'll take a shot at me. Either like fists, knives, guns, whatever. They will. Hopefully they don't get close enough. But look, when you're dealing with people who have violent criminal records, paranoid schizophrenics, truly mentally ill, none of these people are well, or they wouldn't give a shit. I feel bad for them, but they are also dangerous mentally ill psychopaths. Gray Duckling with $5 says, are you parting your bangs on purpose? No, it looks normal. Totally normal. Thank you. Well, with that, we have hit tonight's goal. Thank you very much. It's another win for the toe.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Now are we happy? Buzumaki says better. Leave some hair for the inmates to grab when you get your haircut. That's not, no, I meant is the box on the thing okay? How's that? Redbird with $1 says you say that, but best case scenario, you will stay the same weight. Hopefully. Gray Duckling says can't do pull-ups on the stairs. It sucks. Twisted question mark says you will read a lot. I hope so. Like to get some reading in. All right, let's get to some shit here. I feel like we're just sitting here tugging each other off. Did you hear that we killed a few more Venezuelan narco terrorists or whatever the hell they're calling them, the people sneaking the drugs? Now, are we sure that these are drug traffickers? Are we positive that these boats have drugs on them? Because when I watch these overhead cameras, when we do these missile strikes on these boats out in the Caribbean or the Gulf of America or whatever the fuck it is, when we do this, I'm like, are we just like cruise missiling fishermen? Are we blowing up like tour boats or something? Like, they seem very sure that these are narco boats that are smuggling drugs into the country, and we're totally justified in blowing them up. Let's see. We got some more of this now. Oh. So glad you guys didn't see that. I just dribbled down my chin the Diet Mountain Dew, and it would have been so embarrassing if I was on big screen right now. So there we go. There's that tiny little boat, and boom! There it goes. Up in smoke. Fucked him up. Won't see him no more. But again, I really hope, and boy, is that thing on fire. Holy shit. It's like a goddamn supernova. Jesus. But it's like, I hope we can confirm that we're not. It would suck if we're just blowing up some halibut fishermen.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Of course. Oh, by the way, that $5 put Gray Duckling at 35 for this week. Where does that put him? That puts him back in the cuck chair. Is Gray Duckling back in the cuck chair? What's Wally at? Wally World is at 30. Yes, it does. Gray Duckling is back in the cuck chair at $35. There he is. Gray Duckling, 35. What a winner that guy is. There we go. And it also puts Wally World off. And now poor Wally is at $30 and sitting off to the side. Arsonist lights Governor Shapiro's home on fire. Holy shit, the governor of Pennsylvania's house got lit on fire? Jesus. When did that? Now, wait a minute. This didn't just happen, did it? Josh Shapiro, home fire. 9 hours ago. Wow. Okie dokie. Now, we heard the story this morning. I don't know if you've been following that Greenberg, that teacher. This woman who was stabbed in the back of the head 20 times and then stabbed in the chest a couple of times. Ellen Greenberg is her name. They originally ruled her death a homicide. Then the cops talked to the medical examiner and said, I think you should have a look at that. And then they ruled it a suicide. Well, 15 years later, they decided to pick up the case again and look into Ellen Greenberg's death again. Medical examiner looked into it, said, yep, she stabbed herself 20 times in the back of the head and neck and then stabbed herself in the chest. It's a suicide. Now, her fiance, who found her body, He's a producer in show business, and they also found out that his family donates big time to then Senator or Representative, now Governor, Josh Shapiro. They were the Goldbergs. She was Ellen Greenberg. He was Goldberg. And they were big boosters of Democratic Party people. I don't know if there's any, I have no proof that there's any corruption here, but I find it hard to believe that someone killed themselves by stabbing themselves in the back of the head 20 times. This is some guy apparently lit fire to the governor's house there in Pennsylvania. There he is. Breaks a window. Oh, let me get my fat ass out of there. There you go in the bottom left. He breaks a window. Whoa. Holy shit. Get the fuck out of there, buddy. Jesus Christ. That got away from him a little bit. And then he decided to go show his face in front of the Ring doorbell camera. You know, you got to do that. If you're going to commit arson, you better show your face. That's what they teach you in arsonist school. Then he breaks another window, pours a little Ronson all in there. Oh, shit. He goes in, walks around. Dumps a little fluid. Oh, come on. Don't be a bitch. You can kick down that door. Come on. It's a rich people door. You're going to have to work at it. Come on, buddy. The house is on fire. Get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? Oh, no. Oh, he can't. Guys, he can't kick through the door. He can't kick through the governor's mansion's doors. Oh, no. Is he going to have to run through the flames? Oh, there's a banquet room. There's a Molotov cocktail. There you go. You know, you start with the drapes, you get a little bit better result, but whatever. He picks one up and throws it again. Right. Why not just drop the open flame in front of nothing flammable? Just set it on the ground. That's a great idea. That one you did well. Didn't have to kick that door open. Wasn't quite as successful with that whole kick in the door thing, was he? Well, there he goes. I'm guessing not a Josh Shapiro voter, that particular fella. Well, wow. I think that guy pleaded guilty, by the way. Redbird with $1 says, I'm sure your average South American fisherman doesn't have any issue. 150 to 300,000 US dollars in motors on his fishing boats. Yeah, that's probably a good point. Cleaner says, this is Aaron trying to start a campfire. How dare you? McBuster says, was that schizo? I mean, it could be. The guy is not mentally well, that's for sure. I thought this was really fucking gross. I saw this Sunday night, I think. This was a bought and paid for ad on Twitter, on X. You know how we've been talking about how Turning Point USA seems really suspect and how the whole investigation around Charlie Kirk's death seems really suspect? You know, they're like paving over the grass like the week after the shooting. You know, when this guy needs to defend himself, now his attorneys can't take the jury or can't take anybody to the scene of the crime. They can't go take a look at it. You know, they can't, you know, if there was a bullet lodged somewhere in the ground, they're never going to find it because now they put pavers over it. They've been doing work on the rooftops where they claim the shot came from. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to do that when it's a fucking murder scene that we still haven't solved yet, by the way. So that was suspect. Then you got Charlie Kirk's text messages getting released where he says, I'm out on Israel. These donors are every Jewish stereotype in the book. They don't, you know, I have no, what was it? I have no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And then 24 hours later, he's dead. And then all of a sudden, Turning Point USA is back to this pro-Israel Zionist organization, and Charlie Kirk's not around to take it in whatever direction he wanted to take it. I mean, it all just seems a little suspect. It's getting to be a little too much for me to swallow. I'm not liking it. And it just looks, you know, when some shit, you can't explain what it is, but you know what it's not. And you're like, I know it's not what they're telling me. And then people go, oh, yeah, well, what is it then? Well, I don't know. And I don't have to know, and it's not my responsibility to know. All I know is it doesn't look like what they're telling me. Then you go ahead and see shit like this. And it's on X, and you couple it with Turning Point USA being very Israel-friendly again. And then Newsmax promotes this ad. You see there, it's from Newsmax.com. This was an ad. Charlie Kirk loved Israel. Find out why. See Charlie's story on Newsmax. And there's his picture along with the quote, Israel is our ally, our friend. These pieces of shit are completely shameless. I saw this on Sunday. My jaw about hit the floor. I just thought, you guys have some fucking balls to just go like a month and a half after this guy, not even a month and a half, a month after this guy's death. You're going to plaster ads all over social media saying, oh, yeah, our guy Charlie Kirk, he sure did love Israel. He sure did think Israel was awesome. The weekend after this guy's messages were leaked where he said, I'm out on Israel. These Jewish donors are bullies. They fit every stereotype. This is, and by the way, if you don't think Newsmax was putting these advertisements out strictly because of Candace Owens, you're nuts. You're out of your mind. I mean, that just struck me as so completely tasteless. T. Duden says Newsmax brought to you by the IDF. McBuster says Charlie was a USA God first conservative. Trump is a globalist deep state first guy. Charlie's gone. Yeah, Brian says chutzpah. Papa Shab says Jewsmax. Well, let's see. Let's do a little experiment here. Who owns Newsmax? Christopher Ruddy is the founder, CEO, and majority owner of Newsmax. Although it became a public company in March 2025, Ruddy contains controlling interest through a special class of shares. All right, I don't know who Christopher Ruddy is. I just, yeah. I don't even know why I searched it. I don't even know why I looked at it. Why do I do this? I don't want to know. I don't particularly need to know. It doesn't change anything. Why do I look? Why do I? Brian writes in the chat, he isn't Amish. No, Christopher Ruddy is not Amish. HIV1 says they're slow. Israel had Kirk murals up and Kirk memorial artillery shells within 48 hours. Right? And I don't know if it's fair. I don't really know if it's fair to, because a lot of people call Erica Kirk into question. I don't think that's necessarily a fair thing to do because let's say she does know something's up. Okay? Let's say she does know something's up. Is she really in a position where she can call it out? I mean, you saw what happened to your husband. Let's say she does know. She wouldn't dare point it out. You'd be suicidal to do such a thing. McBuster says Newsmax's Trump MAGA-crat memo. They try to sell Israel and royal family bullshit. Well, I mean, to take Charlie Kirk, again, the week after this guy, it was revealed that he was out on Israel and to use, it's like a guy dying and you get messages put out there where he goes, Coca-Cola fucking sucks. Coca-Cola is terrible. I piss on Coca-Cola. It's dog shit. And then the next day they're selling his name, image, and likeness to Coca-Cola for advertising. Oh, it's enough to make you puke. Look at that. Charlie Kirk, Israel is our ally, our friend. Newsmax. I don't know why, but for some reason, this would be a little less shitty if the owner of Newsmax was an atheist or a Catholic or a Muslim or something else. But it's so disgusting and gross and self-serving. And ironically, it kind of proves Charlie right with his whole they all fit the stereotype thing. I mean, it's a really low-class, shitty thing to do. to use a dead guy's name, image, and likeness to promote your fucking cause. Ew. This was a little weird, too. A teacher in Orange County, Florida, put a Charlie Kirk poster in his classroom, and he was, I guess, asked to take it down. The district office says the poster had to come down because Charlie was controversial and the message on the poster was too political. The teacher, Mr. Loggins, has filed a grievance against the district for unfair practices. You know, I'll be honest with you. I wish teachers wouldn't do any of this shit. I don't care that it's Charlie Kirk, and it's kind of gross for all of these people to be using a dead guy to promote their bullshit. If you want to try and sway children to your political point of view, first of all, that's fucking weird. Second of all, do it yourself. Don't use a dead guy. I don't like that when someone dies and all of a sudden that dead guy wanted to do all the things that they wanted to do. Have the courage of your convictions. You stand up for the bullshit you want to do. Don't put words in a dead guy's mouth. This is what that teacher put up in his classroom. Never underestimate the power of your voice and the impact you can have on the world when you speak up for what you believe in. Charlie Kirk. Now, the message is not controversial at all, but the political positions of the person in the poster that you put up in the classroom is unnecessarily antagonistic. You don't want to stir up political opinions in a fucking middle school or a high school unless you're in debate class. We don't need, there is already so much stupid shit out there that distracts kids from learning at school. You know, teachers who are putting the pride flag up there. I know what people are going to say already. They're going to, Aaron, he has to take down the Charlie Kirk thing. What about the pride flag? They should have to take down the fucking pride flags too. The answer to the pride flags and a bunch of other propaganda being put up in classrooms is not more propaganda and bullshit from the other side, especially using a dead guy's likeness to push and peddle your bullshit. The answer is less. In the great South Park question, the answer in schools is none of it's okay. Not all of it's okay. So this guy, because now look, now this teacher is raising a stink about it. He's fighting to keep the Charlie Kirk poster up. Wouldn't it be better if nobody ever put the poster up and he just worked his job and he taught the kids and they did their homework and they took the tests and they got good grades and he focused on that rather than putting posters up in the classroom? I hate it. I don't like it. Leah says, did you see the teacher that gave the kids a quiz on Charlie Kirk? Yeah, he's been dead long enough. I think we can now say, stop using this dead guy to push your shit. Have the courage of your positions and push your agenda using your own name and your own likeness. Don't use a dead guy who can't speak up on his own behalf. Whether that's Trump, whether that's Newsmax, whether you're a teacher, whatever. I agree with T. Duden. We don't need any political point of view in a classroom. It's not necessary. Bapa Shab says, counting or not counting gang violence? Charlie Kirk. Yeah, when I Googled the other day, because Tim Walz was running his fucking cockholster about mass shootings, I was like, I'm curious. Because he was talking about white kids and mass shootings and stuff. You know him. He's befriended many school shooters. But he was talking about race and mass shootings, and I just had to look it up, and I was just curious, like we did tonight. I just said, what percentage of mass shooters are black? And it said, excluding gang violence, it's 25%. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. They expanded the definition of mass shootings to specifically make it fit gang violence, so throw gang violence in there. You can't even get a straight number from them. They go 40 to 50% or higher. It's like 40 to 50% or higher. What the fuck does that mean? Mad Max Mardigan says Daniel Prager said he's gotten a letter from Turning Point saying they can't work with him anymore because of his anti-Israel Islamophobic views. You know, I do like a guy who's consistent. He's anti-Israel and he's Islamophobic. That's nice. It's nice when someone can be consistent and dislike both. That's where I think Hassan Piker goes wrong, aside from being a retarded Nepo baby. Like, he's like, I think Israel's shit. But these motherfuckers, they've got their shit together. They've got it going on. It's like, no, I think Matt Damon and Syriana had it right. You know what the business world thinks of you? I think 100 years ago you were running around in the desert cutting each other's heads off, and that's exactly where you'll be in the next 100 years. But, when you can get a guy who's anti-Israel and Islamophobic, that's how you know you've got a solid dude. Rusty Grammer says, I think separation of church and state is tough. I think the world would be better if Jesus was the principal of every school in America. Just saying. I think the way we do school in general is a broken system. I'm not ashamed to say I don't know what the answer is. A little over 200 people tonight. Of course, at our peak tonight, we were up over 300 again. So thank you guys very much for the wonderful recovery. I do appreciate that. On your way out, since in the next half hour, people are going to be making their way to the exits, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and hit follow. You guys have knocked out tonight's goal. I appreciate that. You've just got one more to go. Oh, my God. No, we don't have 5 left for Tuesday. We're on to tomorrow. We are 91 memberships away from 600 on Rumble. And we are on 33 memberships away from 500 on YouTube. Ahab says it was an arranged marriage. Charlie was always in a setup position just in case they ever needed him gone. It is weird, because didn't Trump introduce Charlie to Erica, and wasn't she one of in Trump's Miss USA pageants? And her dad worked for Raytheon in Israel and all of that. I mean, it is kind of a weird story, to be sure. Twisted question mark says Captain James T. Kirk, respect the rank. No. Charlie, different guy. Different guy. Oh, I just, again, I know they're not going to start, I know they're not going to stop using Charlie Kirk's memory to push their bullshit. It just, every time they do it, it makes me feel so gross. So gross. This one's really funny. Apparently a bunch of private messages got leaked from the Young Republicans. There's a national group of young Republicans that were, I don't know if they just have a rolling group chat or if they were at some kind of convention or something, but these private messages got leaked. And I don't know if you know this, but you get a bunch of young kids together, and especially a bunch of based right-wing kids, their private messages are going to say some fucked up shit. When you get young people away from the prying eyes of adults and parents and teachers, they're going to see what they can get away with. And boy, would I really appreciate it if private messages didn't get leaked, no matter how funny they can be. But I would also argue that, guys, especially if you're going to represent the Young Republicans, the official group, try not to say shit that's going to make everybody look bad. Thousands of private messages got leaked, and they had a lot of Hitler shit in them. I mean, a lot of Hitler shit. I mean, it was pretty fucking bad. I don't know where to start. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. See, right there. The minute you all look at each other and go, wow, sure would suck if our Telegram chat got leaked, and you're part of the Young Republicans Club, which people are going to try to hack, right? That's the minute you should probably stop writing that shit. Nothing is unleakable, all right? No ship is unsinkable. No chat is unleakable. You know, what's the old saying they used to say about the internet? Don't post anything you wouldn't want your grandma to see. It's great advice. Nobody holds to it. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked. They referred, some of you guys are going to like this a little too much, I think. They referred to black people as monkeys. Stop it. They referred to black people as monkeys and, quote, the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers, guys. And like, honestly, if I was like the adult chaperone and I found these messages and they gave them to me, I was like, you guys have been writing this? That's probably how I would handle it. I would giggle. I would go, oh, God. Guys, you can't write this shit. I mean, you shouldn't really be thinking this shit. And I know you're kidding, and I know you're joking around, and I know it's just for the lulz, as you kids say. 6, 7, am I right? And then after they beat the shit out of me for doing that, I would go, guys, you can't put this shit in writing. And then I would get in trouble because they'd be like, oh, Mr. Imholt said that we could say this stuff. We just couldn't put it in writing. I'm like, no, I know that they're going to try and say edgelord shit. You just shouldn't put it in a chat because I know you don't mean it. They talked about, Jesus Christ. They talked about R-wording their enemies and driving them to and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. God damn. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the N-word, N-I-G-G-A, and N-word, N-I-G-G-U-H, variations of a racial slur more than a dozen times in the chat. Well, he never went hard R. That's got to be worth something. I'm going to put some of these up for you guys. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to the R word as epic, meaning grape. Peter Giunta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that, quote, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. I mean, some of these by themselves, you understand they're kidding, they're fucking around. But in totality, this really doesn't look good. And I get it, man. The shit we write when nobody's watching or when we think nobody's watching. Like, I have a group chat with some of my friends about, like, football and shit like that. There's some very terrible words. I mean, I have some text chat of a certain Carl and Gino and I, you know, texting about football, and boy, is there some tawdry language in there. That's, of course, before Carl needed money and his Patreon subs were dropping like a rock. Oh, poor guy. He texted me a while back and I didn't answer. Something about a baseball game. I was like, don't text. It's gross that you text me. I don't want to be associated with you. Giunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000 member political organization for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. 2 members of the chat responded. And here's some of those chats. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. Another person wrote, when do we start bullying, dude? Another person, we have a solid 3 people who can probably have them want to jump. Another person, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? Another person, when do we bring that side out? I mean, this does look psychotic in context. I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers. And someone wrote, can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. Another person, I'm ready to watch people burn now. The next guy, we got to pretend that we like them. Hey, come on in, take a nice shower and relax. Boom, they're dead. All right, you know how I said, like, maybe these guys were just joking around a little bit and just fucking around. You just don't want that shit to go public. These might be little psychopaths. Now, the exchange is part of a trove of Telegram chats obtained by Politico and spanning more than 7 months of messages among young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of GOP activists talk when they think no one is listening. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you can say, oh, they're only going after them because they're Republicans and this and that. Well, I mean, maybe. Maybe they are only going after them because they're Republicans. But you should know that the media is looking for something like this. Why would you hand them the ammunition? It's not like they had to make up the text. It's not like they had to use AI. You wrote the shit. Since Politico began making inquiries, one member of the group chat is no longer employed at their job, and another's job offer was rescinded. Oh, what? They don't want guys who make gas chamber and Hitler references in chat? Prominent New York Republicans, including Representative Elise Stefanik and State Senate Minority Leader Rob Ort, have denounced the chat, and festering resentments among young Republicans have now turned into public recriminations, including allegations of character assassination and extortion. Politico got a hold of 2,900 pages of chat shared among a dozen millennial and Gen Z Republicans between early January and mid-August. And that Politico is going to portray this as like, this is how Republicans really think, instead of this is them edgelording and making jokes and being retarded with their friends. Together, the messages reveal a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, and violent rhetoric circulate freely, and where the Trump-era loosening of political norms has made such talk feel less taboo among those positioning themselves as the party's next leader. Yeah, and I'm sure that if we got the Telegram chats of any young liberal group, none of it would say anything about killing Trump or Trump being dead or anything like that. I'm sure they would all be perfect angels. Look, the fact is, when people get too into any political ideology and then they think nobody's watching their conversations, they're going to say wacky, fucked up shit. I don't think these guys would actually bring about gas chambers. And neither does Politico. This is just a way for them to score points. The dynamic of easy racism and casual cruelty played out in often dark, vivid fashion inside the chats, where campaign talk and party gossip blurred into streams of slurs and violent fantasies. Oh no, this is one of the guys. That doesn't look like a very young Republican. That looks like Marco Rubio ate Ted Cruz. That does not look like a young Republican, bro. And he's in there talking about gas chambers? I didn't know Indians were into that sort of thing. The group chat members spoke freely about the pressure to cow to Trump to avoid being called a rhino, the love of Nazis within their party's right wing, and the president's alleged work to suppress documents related to Jeffrey Epstein's child sex crimes. Trump's too busy burning the Epstein files, said Alex Dwyer, the chair of the Kansas Young Republicans. That Giunta guy that we just saw the picture of claimed the release of the chat is part of a highly coordinated year-long character assassination led by Gavin Wax and the New York City Young Republican Club, an allusion to a once obscured internecine war that has now spilled into the open. Those logs were sourced by way of extortion and provided to okay. Now we're getting into the weeds here. But yeah. Apparently, they used epithets like the gay F word, retarded, and the N word more than 251 times. What did they say? There was 2,700 chats that were leaked. So just under 10% of them contained one of those words. I'll be honest with you, for a bunch of young Republicans, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be honest. In one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for Senate Minority Leader Ort, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat, quote, dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. Giunta responded that the woman was not Indian. She just didn't bathe often. Jesus Christ. If your pilot is a she and she looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end it there. Scream the no-no word, Giunta wrote. These people are fucking dumb. In a statement, Senator Ort called for members of the chat to resign. Well, yeah, you think this guy's going to have any kind of balls to speak any kind of like, look, oh no, this was one of the guys in the chat. This is not Ort. This is Bobby Walker. Yeah, he's going to cut you guys loose. Oh, man, that's got to be the worst. Your organization. You wake up in the morning, you get a call. Yeah, Robbie? Yeah, you better come in, man. We're going to have to do some PR today. Yeah, a bunch of our retarded members' chats got leaked, and it's bad, bro. It's really bad. We have to, I need you to come in and write apologies to the Jews, retards, homosexuals, black people. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Jews, Indians, and Chinese people. Also, do you know what a GIMP is? We're going to need you to write up apologies for all of them. Twisted question mark says Politico party poopers. Their chats are way worse. Dude, everybody has those kind of chats. Everybody has those kind of chats, and they talk that way when they think nobody's listening. But if your political opponents get a hold of it, yeah, they're going to use it to fuck you, and it's going to work. Tall Mountain says, these guys are super fat. Look at their pics. They're the punchline. I mean, that's true. They are. Ahab says, they typed this article while a genocide is taking place. How dare they? If only this energy was focused towards the genocide. Well, you know how petty these people get. You know that they just wanted to stick it to these young Republicans. It was a little shiv they could throw in before they get back to their regularly scheduled programming. Rusty Kramer says, that's fucking based. Yeah, I don't think they saw it that way. Papa Shab says 250 in a 2,700 page text. That's rookie numbers. It really is, right? I mean, when I heard it was, they used the N word, the R word, and the gay F word 250 times. And I'm like, each? They're like, no, combined. I'm like, dude, I've done that today. Just not committing it to writing. That's all. All right, we got a couple more stories for tonight, and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys very much for knocking out tonight. Thank you for the strong numbers we had earlier as well. I do appreciate that. Getting up over 300 again. The B show is back, baby. The B hole is not back, but the B show is. We got this Ellen Greenberg update, and I'm sorry if you're not, but I am fascinated by this Ellen Greenberg story. Ellen Greenberg, if you missed it, was the woman we were talking about earlier. She was a school teacher. Her husband was in the entertainment business as a producer, and his family was politically connected. And Ellen Greenberg was stabbed in the back of the head 20 times and then had a knife protruding from her chest. And what ended up happening was the medical examiner ruled it a homicide initially. And then when the cops confronted the medical examiner, they said, I think you want to take another look at that. They changed it to a suicide. Now, 15 years later, they reopened the case. And yesterday, the news came out. They said, yep, still a suicide. We looked into it. Definitely stabbed herself in the back of the head 20 times and then stabbed herself in the chest. I mean, it seems corrupt. And, you know, there is this thing called Hanlon's razor where never attribute to malice what you can attribute to stupidity. I get that. But, God, that's a lot of stupidity you got to give these people. They did an interview with another medical examiner on TMZ. Let's see what they had to say. I just want somebody to start talking sense about this.
You know, initially, they call it a homicide, changed to a suicide.
Yeah.
And now they supposedly, with the white heat of publicity, look at this case again, and they are holding firm. Are you surprised at this?
Yeah, you could have knocked me over with a feather, as they say. When, you know, because we've all been anxiously awaiting, you know, this ruling coming out. We thought that, I don't know, that science would prevail. And this fell to the current medical examiner to make this determination. And she doubled down on it and concluded that this is, in fact, a suicide.
I wonder if a lot of that medical examiner confirming it is like a professional courtesy type of thing, because they say this in legal stuff. They'll sometimes say that judges don't want to overturn other judges. That's why when a judge makes a ruling on something, unless there's something like super crazy and you can prove that something got really fucked up, they're going to uphold whatever that judge said, because they don't want to, you know, it's again, professional courtesy. They don't want to be the one to tell them they fucked up. I wonder if that's the same thing with these medical examiners who are going like, yeah, I know it looks fucked up that she stabbed herself in the back of the head 20 times. I'm not here to rule on that. I'm here to rule on whether or not this other medical examiner did anything wrong. I don't think they did, so I'm going to uphold what they said. Because I can't imagine you'd be a medical examiner. You'd look at this thing. And remember, the medical examiner originally said somebody killed this lady and then went back on it after the cops talked to him. I can't imagine that you could be a reasonable person and you could look at this Ellen Greenberg thing and you could come away with, yeah, she totally did this to herself.
I think many of us are shocked, surprised over this because none of us really saw this coming. I mean, I don't guess we should be surprised, right? Because, you missed one manner of death there. There's 5. You've got suicide, accidental, you got homicide, you got undetermined, you got natural. They also visited undetermined in this case for a bit. And guys, I got to tell you, I worked for the coroner in New Orleans. I worked for the ME in Atlanta as a senior investigator.
This guy's been in some busy-ass coroner's office. New Orleans and Atlanta. They got a lot of those homicides coming in and a lot of those undetermineds that come in.
Fellas, I have never, in the totality of my career as an academic and also as a practitioner in the field, I've never seen somebody jump to 3 of the different manners. We've only got 5 to choose from. So over the course of all these years, they vacillated between all 3 of these at one point in time or another.
Is it possible?
I'm surprised they didn't go with natural causes at one point. It's just as feasible as her doing it to herself.
Possible for someone to have stabbed themselves that many times? Maybe 1, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But to stab yourself that many times when clearly you would be incapacitated.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you really wanted to die, you wouldn't stab yourself in the back of the head. And even if you did, once you stab yourself once, you go, ow, fuck, God damn it, that hurts. Jesus Christ, that was a bad place to start. Fuck me running. Owie. I don't think you would start with the back of your own head. And I also think like your body's natural inclination to protect itself, you can't stab someone through the plate of their skull. Like you're not getting through that thing, I feel like. Unless it's a zombie movie.
It's biomechanically implausible.
And in that case, they can get a fucking dull screwdriver in there.
Plausible. I've got a fake knife.
Oh, a fake knife. I was going to say, you just carrying that thing around with you, champ? I'm just a criminal justice and forensics investigator. I got this knife with me all the time. All right. Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade.
Well, I can't understand none of it. This one begat that one, and that one begat this one, and begat, and lo and behold, someone says some shit to someone or another. Just how retarded are you?
Here that we use for crime scenes. And when you think about this knife is going into the body multiple times, and not only on the anterior aspect of the body, but the posterior aspect. If everyone at home will just for a moment think about just having a pretend knife, not a real knife, a pretend knife in their hand, and try to extend your hand over your shoulder like this and reach your upper back and also into your neck over and over and over and over again. How many folks out there have ever experienced a paper cut? How painful that is.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you get that knife in there one time, you're like, fuck my ass. That hurt. You're not doing that 20 more times. I sat here in the morning looking like a retard, and I'm about to do it again, trying to stab myself 20 times with a yellow Sharpie. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I just punched myself in the back of the head with a Sharpie 20 times lately, and that kind of hurt a little bit. Not only that, I was kind of tired of it after 2 or 3 times. Now first of all, let's not tell the mouth breathers who watch TMZ on a regular basis, go grab a knife at home. See if you can reach it, but don't.
Think about that. That pain center fires every single time. And this is going over and over and over again. And there's no indication that she was in some kind of mental state where she would...
Like psychotic.
She would react in this kind of frenzied manner like this.
It shows how corrupt or how... Like, it's bad either way. If they're doing this because they're dumb, that's bad. If they're doing it because they're corrupt, that's bad. But if they're doing it because they're dumb, then that means we've become so dumb as a society that we have to have a guy go on television and explain to us how bad it would fucking hurt to shove a knife into your head. And how doing it 20 times is pretty much impossible. We have to have that conversation with each other.
A couple of years later, there was a neuropathologist that took a look at the samples of her brainstem, if you will, the spinal cord coming off of the base of the brain. And her conclusion was that in that particular area where they had identified that the knife had passed through, guys, there was no hemorrhage in that area. No hemorrhage whatsoever. So that leads us scientifically to conclude that this is potentially a post-mortem injury.
Right. If you stab someone in the back of the head and they don't bleed from it, yeah, they were already dead. So if she did kill herself, she stabbed herself in the chest, and then what? Someone comes in later and stabs her 20 times? That doesn't make any sense either. I got to hear that part again. That makes no sense to me.
Was that in that particular area where they had identified that the knife had passed through, guys, there was no hemorrhage in that area. No hemorrhage whatsoever. So that leads us scientifically to conclude that this is potentially a post-mortem injury. There's never been like a presser, where these people have been asked questions specifically about this. Explain your rationale for this, because we want to.
I would have one question. I would raise my hand. They would say yes. I would say Aaron Imholt, Steel Toe Media. And they'd be like, aren't you supposed to be in jail? And I go, it's Friday, okay? Calm the fuck down. They'd be like, what's your question? I just have one simple question for them.
Just how retarded are you?
That would be it.
Understand. And that's one of the best ways to do this, right? You want to clear the decks, you want to get the information out there and explain the scientific methodology that you arrived at this conclusion with. And I'm not saying that it would satisfy everybody, but it would certainly give people a bit more understanding, because this is, in fact, a complex case.
I just don't understand how multiple doctors have come to this conclusion, and there's nothing malicious. MSO says, nobody's saying you can't stab yourself. We're not even saying you can't stab yourself in the back of the head. We're just saying you can't stab yourself in the back of the head. We got it, Aaron. We got it.
Nobody's saying you can't own a gun. Nobody's even saying you can't carry a gun. All we're saying is you can't carry a gun in town.
Oh, no. CG, King of Comics with $4.99 says Ethan Van Sciver, the throat coat, says he's making you his next personal project. Oh, no. He did such a great job taking down Eric July. Isn't he the guy who's jealous of Eric July, like an ex-lover? And he's been watching Eric July do better numbers than him. So I got to say, an old bitter comic guy making me his next project. Ooh, you're about to get shut down by Comicsgate. You're done. Now, I doubt he said that, but if that's the case, I welcome the extra audience. I could use it. I'll be honest with you. I'm a humble enough guy. I don't think he said that, though. I don't think Ethan said that. That Ethan Van Sciver guy is weird, though. Isn't there something about like him smoking crack and somebody accused him of like sucking a dick behind a dumpster? I heard something like that. Jesse did an episode on him where, and Jesse just took him to fucking school on his show. Something about being the throat goat. Something about smoking crack and sucking cock. There's, that's a t-shirt, I think. Twisted question mark says Ethan wouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. These comic book nerds, they blow a gasket like that. I'm guessing he didn't say that, but if he did, I could see those kind of guys doing it. And he's not jealous of Eric. Oh, come on. He's a little jealous of Eric July. You do not dedicate that much time to somebody and watch their numbers and watch their money that closely without either being a jilted ex, which I guess with the allegations of cocksucking, or incredibly jealous. Incredibly jealous. Twisted question mark says, I certainly never heard him say that, and the crack stuff was BS. I don't know. Jesse's never steered me wrong before, so I don't know. T. Duden says, will you get people in jail to join the chat after jail? You know, if I could get them to become fans of the show, boy, that really would be something. Isn't it? Wouldn't that really be something if I could get that kind of a new following? It's, what do you call it? An untapped resource. Rob says, wow, is there any internet show the toe misses? Yeah, almost all of them. I like Jesse because he's on a generational run and he's incredibly talented. But other than that, I'm watching history documentaries. I'll watch the odd Tucker interview, more history documentaries. I'll check out some Dave Smith here and there. I'm a pretty boring watching guy. Most of it's going to be documentaries. And I understand how that sounds. Somebody says, Aaron, the Goldberg said she fell on the knife. I know. That is what they said. They said that the knife was stuck in her chest because after she stabbed herself in the head 20 times, she then fell on it. Abel Graham says, does the toe miss compound media? No, I don't. It was really cool that they wanted me to do shows for them. It was really cool that they hired me to do 5 or 6 shows. It was really cool that they asked me to host Anthony's show when he had that heart attack. That was really awesome. Being on Anthony's show is having him have me on as a guest, asking me to come on. Him being nice enough to do my show. Having Anthony, compliment, like send you DMs being like, you do a real show. I really appreciate that. I know that he's had to impress some of his friends and he didn't like some of the shit I talked about him and that he kind of went the other way on that, but can't take away the really cool experiences and the really cool shit. Like as a guy that I kind of came up listening to, that's so awesome. I'm so pumped about that. He can call me the biggest piece of shit in the world until the day he dies. And I will be so happy that all that other shit happened. It's just water off a duck's back. Rusty Grammar with $1 says, this is on behalf of T. Duden's question. What is T. Duden's question? We want cool new people in the chat, not YouTube fags. I don't know what that means. I mean, I want everybody in my chat. I don't care if you're cool or totally gay. I just want bodies. That's it. Tall Mountain says Dave Smith is a chore. Dave Smith is not my favorite. I think Dave Smith's show is easily digestible. Twisted question mark says it's annoying that Ant only gets part of a story and runs with it. Well, look, I think that. I made fun of him a little when I was going through my stuff. I brought up some of his stuff, and I don't think he liked that very much. And then of course, I became a news story, and he wanted to run with that. That's totally fine. Totally fine. And I think he did this show, and I think he wanted us to be part of his show because I think he thought April was cute. I think that's why Anthony wanted to work with us. And then Gino and I became retards, and he couldn't shake either one of us. Rusty Grammar with it. Oh, we just did that one. Thank you. All right, before we go, I wanted to play this Don Lemon clip. Before you go, hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. I wanted to do this Don Lemon thing real quick before we got out of here tonight. This is him talking. Don Lemon's doing this new thing where he goes out on the street and he lets strangers own him. It's actually kind of polite. He goes out on the street. He gets all of his facts wrong. People argue with him, just randos, not like political people, and they make him look like a stupid asshole. Here is a lady lecturing Don Lemon and informing him that a misdemeanor is indeed still a crime. Now, you ain't got to tell me, but Don Lemon needs to know.
It's not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as
so he's talking to her about immigration.
Somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process. Where's the evidence? That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going.
Misdemeanor is not a crime. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So misdemeanor is not
It's
a
not
crime?
a criminal act. No.
Yes, a misdemeanor is a criminal act. It's a very definition of a criminal. You have misdemeanors and you have felonies. Misdemeanor, felony. That's what you got.
You get charged with a misdemeanor. That's not a criminal
why
act.
get charged at all then? If it's not a criminal act.
Right.
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
So it is crime.
No,
It's just
Like, here's what I love. Like, Don Lemon goes out. He's like, I'm the big media newsman. I'm going to teach these plebs how to talk about politics. And then he ends up, like, they end up having to break this shit down to him like he's a child.
We have different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
Okay, now that lady doesn't even need to be there. Don Lemon's owning himself. It's what we call kids a, say it with me, cell phone.
No, you're not breaking the law.
A misdemeanor is not breaking the law.
No.
If you're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no, if you're speeding is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor.
Right.
So
It's against the law to speed. If you're speeding enough, you do have to go to court.
you're still breaking the law.
If you don't, like, when you pay your fine for speeding, that's a guilty plea to the speeding. Otherwise, you can go to court, you can fight it, and they'll put the speeding ticket on your record.
Okay, well, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics. But what I'm saying,
No, we're not doing semantics. You said that people who come here illegally, that it's a misdemeanor. Now, I'd have to check on that. I'm not sure. But even if it is, that's still a crime. You're still a criminal when you come to this country illegally, Don.
but what I'm trying to tell you is everything is not the same. It's all not one thing.
But is it the law?
What is it? The law that what?
Is it a law to come over
there a
legally?
law?
Is there a law?
There are rules that processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking.
No, Don, you're breaking. Say it with me. Laws, Don.
The rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
So what happens when you break the rules?
Then you suffer the consequences. But the consequences should not. Look, no one is saying no one should suffer the consequences. You guys are getting things mixed.
Yeah, you guys are fucking this up. Oh, man, whatever show this is, wherever Don's working now, whatever Don's doing, like whatever this is, don't ever cancel this show. It fucking rules. It's the absolute best. Don't ever let this guy stop broadcasting. We need Don Lemon. I mean, we probably need the people he's debating more, but we need Don Lemon to be the conduit to them. Omega Man with 199 says, I'd be careful. Comicsgate is pro-flagging. Ooh, I think we'll be fine. All right, guys, take it easy. Another win for the toe. Another great evening show. Thank you very much for being here. This was an easy one. This was the complete opposite of last night. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll be back again it's over already. We'll be back again at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks for being here. See you again real soon. Hit like, hit comment, hit subscribe on your way out.